Hey there guys, Arlo here, and today I'm reviewing Ittle Do. So grab your sword, a couple of potions, and a snarky sidekick, cause it's adventuring time! Considering Zelda's success, it's surprising that there aren't more games that use the same formula. When one comes along, it's something to celebrate in my book, and Ittle Do delivers an excellent adventure that acts as a loving homage to Link's original 2D outings. For starters, the world is wonderfully colorful, and the squiggly line sort of style really brings it all to life. The baddies are a lot of fun, and I love how so many of them are pretty much just bored girls in animal pajamas. Ittle and her surly sidekick Tipsy do a lot of bantering with each other and with enemies, and it's all filled with a lot of cute humor that pokes fun at the source material while also just being funny in its own way. Like I said, the gameplay is very similar to a 2D Zelda, but more open, kinda like the first one. You'll fight a lot of guys and you'll solve a lot of puzzles, most of which involve sliding blocks and switches. There are 3 items, each of which will let you progress and explore more of the game in traditional Zelda fashion, and they each have multiple uses that build upon each other and are a lot of fun to discover. If Zelda is more about combat with light puzzle solving, Ittle Do is way more focused on the puzzles. Each room of each dungeon is pretty much its own brain teaser, and I found that the challenge was just high enough to be consistently satisfying. For the smarter folk out there, there's an extra dungeon that offers some truly brain-bending problems, and I, for one, have still not been able to crack through the first half of it. This game made me stop and think a lot, and I really appreciate that in my puzzles. If there's one thing about Ittle Do that's slightly disappointing, it's that for all the great exploration you do, there isn't a ton to find. There are a handful of extra hearts to get, though dying gives you basically no penalty whatsoever. There are cards to collect for each baddie and character, though as the game cheekily points out, they're just for fun. I suppose what I'm really missing is stuff like money, which is always fun to hunt for in other games. You collect money in Ittle Do, but only in specific locations and in set amounts, and it's only for buying the game's 3 items, so it's another progression item more than anything. It's all really just about cards and hearts, and your map will tell you how many of each are left in any given area, so you're never really gonna stumble upon something unexpected. If the game has one big flaw though, it's the combat. The range of your sword is tiny, and harkening back to the old days, you can't move when you're slashing it. Enemies move in a random pattern, and a lot of them don't recoil when you hit them, so fighting can be an awkward affair. And given the fact that dying only brings you back to the start of a room, the enemies seem more like an annoyance than obstacles. It doesn't ruin the game by any means, but it could have been implemented in a more fun and comfortable way. Back to the good stuff though, the game is great at making things easy and clear where they should be easy and clear. Little things that benefit the player without lowering the difficulty level. After a door closes behind you early in the game, a friendly sign informs you that no items can be permanently missed. While it removes some of the thrill of exploration, maps of every area clearly outline what you've got left to grab and what doors have been opened, making navigation a breeze. You can ask Tipsy for tips. Oh, whoa, I just got that. Anyway, and instead of telling you how to solve a puzzle, he'll usually tell you if you've got the right items necessary, cutting down on uncertainty and needless backtracking. It always points you in the right direction, and there was never a point in the whole game where I didn't know where I could be going. And that's probably not something I can say about any Zelda. All of this makes it easier to really learn the game, and for completionists or just those who like a good challenge, there are multiple paths to the last area, and it's possible to beat it with only 2 of the items. Achievement hunters will relish the challenge of getting through it multiple times, skipping out on 1 of the items per playthrough, and beating it fast will give you a few chivos as well. As the developer says in the game's description on Steam, Ittle Do takes the puzzle adventure genre and boils it down to its funnest elements, minus maybe a little bit of the combat element. It's fun, it's funny, it offers a perfect level of challenge, and it provided me with some of that puzzle and item-based progression adventuring that I so deeply crave. On my 7-point scale, I give Ittle Do an easy 6. Do you think this genre is sorely underrepresented as I do? Or are you not so into adventure games? Whatever the case, let me know in the comments. And until next time, go easy on the red potion. Ittle do. It'll do. It'll do. Whoa, I just got that.